Next here to our cover story and the growing frustrations in neighborhoods all across Florida against homeowners associations.
I think that they have way too much power. I mean, I never heard of anything like this in my life.
Some more months went by, I didn't hear anything, and then all of a sudden I start getting all these letters in the mail that say, hey, let us help you with your foreclosure. And I'm like, what foreclosure? I call my bank, they're like, nope, we don't have anything. And I'm like, what is it? Can't possibly understand. Find out it's the HOA. They had put a lien on my house.
This is a story that I-Team investigative reporter Adam Walser has covered for months all across Tampa Bay. And all new tonight, our Forrest Saunders learning that Adam's reporting is actually behind a new push to ban HOAs across the state.
Florida homeowners say they've had enough. Rising fees, lawsuits, even arrests, all tied to HOAs. Now, one Miami lawmaker says might be time to get rid of them.
And, it might just be time we take a look if HOAs are really even necessary. Maybe we should just do away with homeowner associations as a whole.
Horace hasn't drafted it yet, but the idea for an HOA ban bill is something he's working on before the gavel drops in January. He says for many neighborhoods, those associations just aren't worth the cost.
In Miami-Dade County, where it's just a bunch of houses. I mean, the HOA doesn't really maintain anything other than the grass in some areas. And yet you're being charged $500, $600 plus a month. When in reality, you don't see a lot of that money going back to even your own communities.
Across Florida, frustrations are mounting. News story after news story. In Hillsborough County, homeowners say their HOA spent hundreds of thousands on lawsuits, including one tied to a single ballot in a board election.
So well over $100,000 because they filed with the 2nd District Court of Appeals, and I had to pay for that as well.
In Palm Beach County, monthly fees topping $600 nearly cost one woman her home.
It's very difficult when you find yourself in a tough situation and there's no help.
And in Riverview, some enforcement went to extremes. One woman jailed for 7 days over brown grass.
And to be taken to jail and to be treated like that for brown grass at my own home, it's horrible.
An estimated 9.5 million Floridians, nearly half the state's population, live in HOA neighborhoods. Porras admits condos with shared roofs and common areas might be different, but for single-family HOAs, he calls it a failed system.
I think, it was a failed experiment, to be quite honest, and we've seen over the years with the level of abuse and mismanagement that it does more harm than good.
Whether that idea to abolish HOAs gets traction in the legislature is still unknown, and Governor Ron DeSantis hasn't weighed in, but Porras says it's a conversation Florida can't ignore.
Now, Porras says he plans to draft this legislation and officially file it before the legislative session gavels in January. But it's important to notice that sometimes these bills will get a lot of attention and then they won't go anywhere. That's why it's so important to have the backing of your caucus when you're filing a piece of legislation that is as dramatic as banning HOAs. We'll have to see what happens. That's the latest out here at the state capitol. I'm Forrest Saunders reporting.